So G3 has two mixers built in that lets us do some really cool things. First thing I want to show you is the spillover feature, which is, I love this. So I've got a sound here and I've got a little bit of drive. I've got a mono delay going into a stereo delay, going into a stereo reverb, okay? Now when I go to this preset, let's say I just want to turn on a phaser, for example. So at the moment, when I switch between those two presets, I go from this epic sound and then it cuts everything off, right? What I can do is turn on the stereo mixer that's going to enable me to have trails or spillover when I go to that second preset. And it's really simple. Again, I go into the menu. I go down into trails. First thing I do is I turn the trails control on. I come out of it and then into trails loop. So I'm going to turn on 11 and 12 stereo, turn on 9 and 10 stereo, and then I'm going to turn on the 8 as well because that's the mono delay. So I can put 12 delays in here and have built up this epic ambient sound and have them all spill over into any preset. Okay, so let's come out of that. Here I am on my big epic sound. And when I go to the phaser, you'll hear all the ambience and delays and reverbs spill over onto that second sound. Okay, so that's trails, stereo trails, mono trails on, from any preset. It's really great. So the other really cool thing we can do with our mixers is parallel signals. Okay, so let's have a look at our phaser, which is this one here. Okay, and this is our chorus. Now they're beautiful effects, but if I put them on together, basically the phaser going into the chorus, you get... And that's really nice, but what I want to do is I want to run them in parallel. I want to split the signal before the effects, and I want the effects to be receiving the signal and then mix them together after that. And how we do that is really cool. We go into the menu and I go down to parallel. I'm going to turn on parallel. So parallel is now enabled. Come back out of that. I'm going to choose where I start the parallel split. So from here, it says a loop split before, and I want to split it before loop 4. Okay, so I'm going to go loop 4, back out, and I want it to join after loop 5. Okay, now I choose the parallel loops. So if you imagine, I've got, my signal is now split, right? I've got my main signal and I've got my parallel signal. So I want to choose the loops that I'm going to include in that parallel signal. So I'm going to say I'm going to put the phaser, which is in loop 4, I'm going to put that in the parallel signal. And that's it. So now, with loops 4 and 5 turned on, I have those two effects in parallel. Now, this has been done before. This is not new. However, a really important thing in parallel is that you need to be able to control the phase of the parallel feed. because depending on the effect that you have or the effects that you have in the parallel feed, those two lines could be out of relative phase with each other. Okay, if one pedal is flipping the phase and they're out of phase, you're going to cancel those signals out. So all we need to do to correct that is go into phase setting. At the moment, the phase is reversed. Now this is normal phase. So I've put those two effects back into correct relative phase and it sounds massive. So yeah, it was really important to me that when we were looking at doing parallel, we absolutely had to be able to correct the phase for the parallel chain. So that's really cool. But the other really cool thing is, instead of summing them together, I can actually send the chorus and phase to different outputs. And again, that's really simple. I go into parallel, and where it says parallel end, instead of join after loop, I just say no join. And now that's going to send chorus out of one output and phase out the other. So those mixers and the ability to split our parallel signal and send them to different effects to different outputs, it's a great thing to experiment with and to create your own really cool, unique sounds.